today we are so excited to welcome star of hit Netflix series Heeramandi. He has fans all over the world falling for him. Welcome to the show, Taha, Shah, Badussha. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Such an honor to be here. I mean, Dubai is hometown, and this is my first time ever with you guys. Such an honor. Thank you for having me.
So great.
Thank you for being here. So before the show, we figured that you were born in Abu Dhabi. So if you can give us like a brief of your background and ever since you were born in Abu Dhabi.
Well, there's too much of my background. I've been here 20 years. I mean, I lived here. So I was born in Abu Dhabi, and my parents are from here. They're doctors, and my mom's a biochemist. And then we shifted off to Dubai and Sharjah, where I studied in a school called Shah.
I was a Shoifat teacher.
All right, Shah teacher. All right.
But Shoifat is like super intense, and your parents were biochemists and doctors. Like
yeah, no, I mean, I think Shah. I mean, as much as it was intense, I feel that it had a lot of great education. Because it kind of it taught you A levels, O levels, all the levels,
all the levels, yeah,
right? So you're always either doing AMSs or you're doing quizzes and tests every week. So it was definitely quite intense, and I wasn't the best student, to be honest. All right, sorry, teacher. All right, but I really tried my best. But to be very honest, I think Dubai has formed me to be the person that I am, and I'm very, very grateful that I was actually born over here because it has a lot of rules and regulations, but when you're growing up, I think it's very important for kids to have rules and regulations. And now that I go back to India, like I never drank until I was like, 22, 23, right? I never even tasted it. And it kind of imbibes those good kind of discipline in you. So I believe that Abu Dhabi and Dubai is really an incredible place to stay.
So interesting, and I also agree with the focus for kids. So kids, if you're listening, do your studies, work hard. You'll become the star of a Netflix show. But if your parents were, I guess, down the medical route, and then you said did you just one day say, "I'm into acting, I want to do it," and how did they respond?
They're actually very open-minded, to be very honest, and my mother, she actually when I was actually doing business for about 3 years because I dropped out of university and I was helping her out and I was understanding. But when you're in Dubai, you do real estate, you do construction, that's what you do. And at one point of time, I was trading in steel and cement. And when the financial crisis hit, that's when I realized that I can't deal in money, right? Money is just not my thing. I need to deal in talent, in creative, in performing arts. So when I decided to go and tell my mom that I wanted to join New York Film Academy, which was opened up in Abu Dhabi, she was like, please go and join it. In fact, it was me who couldn't take the initiative because I was scared. I didn't have the courage to actually step out of my comfort zone. But it was my mom who actually dragged me out of my room from Sharjah and drove to Abu Dhabi and got me registered and then just left me there. I was literally in my pajamas and she's like, I'm going to go back, I'm going to get you your clothes and I'm going to get you your, some food, start your education in acting. But for the first time in my life, when I joined that place, I felt like I belong. I never felt like I belonged either in school or in university or working. In fact, my business, I never felt I belonged, but I finally felt like I belonged with the film industry.
What do you think your mom saw that made her drag you out of your bed in your PJs back down to Abu Dhabi?
I think it was, if I go back, I think it was my mom's. The films in India are really big, all right? Yeah. Even right now, everybody, there's a kind of like a bug in all of us that we want to be on TV, that we want to be famous, so we want recognition. And I think that was there for my mom, but she didn't have the resources. And her parents at that time, as conservative as they were, they decided not to let her go. So I think it's like a circle of life that when I actually decided to tell her that this is something that I'm maybe passionate about, she completely kind of saw herself in me. And I think that's what actually allowed her to take that initiative where she kind of just pushed me out and she's like, please go and see what you can do. And I'm so glad that today I'm able to make her proud.
What a story.
It's interesting because like her hard work and your hard work, both of it came together and manifested, and you are the big star for the hit Netflix show Heeramandi, right?
Yeah, it is definitely my mom's manifestation. 100%.
Yeah. So if you can tell us about like how did it come? You know, that you are now the head star of the Netflix show, and like did you audition? How was the experience? If you can give us like walk us through.
It was quite a. I mean, I've been in the industry for about 14 years now, right? I've been around. I've been making my ways, hustling my way through. But this happened all by chance, to be very honest. I mean, it was me and my friend who kind of almost kind of chased down the casting director for 15 months, just begging her to just give us any role, please.
Wow.
Right? And when she decided to, she gave me a role for 3 days. It was a 3-day role. And I said, no problem. You know, all I need is one scene, and if the incredible Mr. Sanjay Leela Bhansali decides that this guy is good, maybe in his next show or his next film, he might increase my role, make me a bigger character. I said, okay, let's go. So I signed the contract, you know, and as God wanted it, I guess Mr. Bhansali called me back, and he's like, he just talked to me, and then he decided to give me a bigger role, which was a role of a revolutionary in the series. And I was very happy because mostly in my life that never used to happen, right? So I was like, all right, this is a good chance, you know. So I went, I did the look test, passed that round, was about to sign the contract about 2-3 weeks later, and then I get a call back from him again. And he's like, I mean, from his office, and they're like, I'm sorry, but still kind of changed his mind. So I'm like, dude, I'm going to lose out on this. I'm sure, because this always happens when something good happens, something bad happens, right? So I said, you know what, this is life, no problem. I will accept it. I'll go back to the 3-day role. I went up to him. He called me for a meeting. I said, sir, look, I really apologize if I did something wrong. I don't know what I did, but if I did, I'm sorry. Please don't take me out, because this is the biggest opportunity of my life, right? Please. And he was very kind, very generous. He said, please have a seat. So I sat down, and he basically said that, I saw your look test. You've done really well. And I see something in your eyes. I want you for the lead of my show.
Ooh.
So, yeah, like I said, fate. And I don't know, it's just Mr. Bhansali. And only a person of his caliber would be able to pinpoint on somebody who really has nothing and put him at this pedestal.
This is
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Like he's the Spielberg of India,
100%,
right?
100%.
What was that like for you? Because this feels like the magical moment in any actor's career.
Yeah, no, I think at that moment of time I was completely. I thought he was pulling my leg, right? I was completely shocked, to be very honest, and I didn't react to him. So he's like, "You don't want it." I said, "I don't understand what's exactly happening right now, sir. I'm so sorry." And then he's like, "Go downstairs and take the audition script." And then the audition process started, which actually went on for quite some time. But past those rounds, and then I had to wait for 3 months with radio silence. I had no idea whether I was going to get it or not. I even called the casting director, and I'm like, "Look, I don't want the lead role. You know, give me the other role, or I'm going to die from a heart attack. You know, please, just give me that. Shouldn't be that you cast somebody for that, and he decides to go with somebody else for this, and I'm left nowhere. You know, so but I just waited for 3 months. Nobody got back to me, and finally, I had an opportunity in front of me, which I got 3 projects, one international project, which was giving me good money as well. And here I had radio silence. I had nothing, right? So I asked my mom, what should I do? She's like, whatever your heart says, go ahead and do it. So I'm like, projects and money? Nothing. Which one should I take? You know, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go with nothing.
Nothing.
You know, and the hope. And I left these 3 projects. I canceled them. And literally 3 days prior to that, after that, I get a call from Mr. Bhansali, and he's like, you're my Tajdar, come to set.
Wow.
Wow.
So
what a story.
Yeah, man. At that moment of time, I was like, oh my God, which one? Yeah.
That's amazing that you were turning down projects to get there.
I mean, honestly, this is the most exciting things.
Yeah.
This is honestly, it was like meant to be, and you must. I think you for sure thank your mom a lot for, I would say, you know, like having you go there. But I have a question. We love the drama, so it's like a bit of a question that's not very dramatic, but who did you enjoy working with most?
On set?
On set.
I mean, of course. I mean, I guess I spent the most amount of time with Charmin, who's my romantic interest in the series. So definitely, it has to be her. But I think the closest connection that I had was with my grandmother, Farida Jalal. I think because, I mean, first of all, she's a veteran in the industry. She's been there for 50 plus years, and very inclusive, very warm, very loving, has great stories, right, from her past. And I think my best, very free-flowing relationship was with her. But of course, my longest time was with Sharmin, and I think she's incredible.
And on set, did you guys have a feeling that this would become one of the biggest Netflix shows? Did you know it was happening?
Well, it was Mr. Bhansali, like you just said, he's a Spielberg of our country. I mean, it really can't get bigger than that. It's Netflix and it's Mr. Bhansali put together. So, and he leaves no stone unturned when he's shooting, as you can see. So, no, we were definitely hoping that it would reach the audience like it already has. Of course, you never know the end and what happens. But of course, we had a hint that this is going to be the biggest series that comes out of India. And it clearly is. So again, all thanks to Netflix and Mr. Bhansali. I mean, if they both weren't put together, this wouldn't be as iconic as what it is.
And a great team.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're so happy for you. But of course, you know, it's all amazing and everything worked out in your favor. But there must have been a struggle coming through. So if you can mention like a struggle that you have went through throughout your career.
Throughout my career.
And specifically with this show.
Oh my God. Throughout my career, there's too many struggles, to be honest. It's the struggles of, first of all, struggles of being a kid from the Gulf and trying to just kind of adapt to being a person from Mumbai, you know, understanding the lingo, understanding the way people behave with each other, understanding how you should be behaving with everyone else. It's a very different scenario, very different environment. Right, so that was my first struggle. The second struggle was to understand. So in UAE, all the films that release over here are top-notch films. They're from the biggest producers, biggest directors, right? So we as audience always get to see the cream, right? When you go there, you understand that the industry is not just that. That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so much more that you don't know, right? You don't understand the trade. You don't understand the terminology. You don't know the people. You don't have relationships, right? So much, so much. Those are all struggles, each individual. Then finally, you also understand that you don't have enough talent, right? And you got to start working on your talent. You might be an okay actor, sure, but our industry demands dance. Our industry, demands action. Our industry demands a lot more skills than just being an actor. So you have to then train in that. Those are your other struggles. Then finally being able to actually get into the right rooms, getting those auditions. Many people initially, in my initial years, nobody believed in auditions because it was all about being at the right place at the right time. Somebody sees you and it's like, you're my star. That never happens. That does not happen, right? There are too many people and there's too much competition. So how do you break through that competition is another struggle, right? And then finally you understand there's certain things that you can pick up, there's certain things that you shouldn't pick up if you want to go in a certain direction, right? Not everything is about money, so you got to sacrifice a lot, live a few years or many years, like that you don't want to, but you have to if you want to reach where you want to reach, right? So the sacrifices, and not only in work but also sacrifices in the struggles of leaving your friends, not trying to hang out with your friends, not trying to hang out with incredibly beautiful women, right? You have to sacrifice. You got to keep sacrificing all those things and be disciplined and wake up in the morning and kind of hit the dart in the dark, because you never know where it's going to land. You just keep hitting, and one day, in the hopes and you trust the process that if I keep putting in the effort, it's all going to compound one day, and you are going to get somewhere, right? So I think all of these are individual struggles that you need to face on a daily basis, and you wake up every morning thinking like, oh man, I don't want to do this, but you just got to keep doing it, man. That's the struggle every day. Every day you open your eyes, you're like, I have to go for training now. I don't want to go for training now, but you have to get up and do it, no matter what. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that incredibly open and honest answer. I really feel like I felt your struggle in the last 14 years. But it brought you to this point and it compounded, and now people all over the world love you. We call this Taj our love from fans. So one of the comments on your recent post is, I fall short of words when it comes to compliments for you. You're the most handsome man alive in the universe.
Oh.
What's it like getting comments like that?
See, I'm not much into looks. I think that looks are God-given, right? I personally prefer comments when people say that your craft is incredible. I have spent so many years, hitting on my craft and trying to sharpen it. I'm going to courses all over the globe. I've done 15 courses in acting throughout the globe, and I believe that's what makes me, right? Looks and everything else is great. I mean, thank you for thinking I'm handsome, which is amazing, which is really amazing. But when people compliment me about my hard work, when people compliment me that you inspire us with your hard work, with your relentless attitude, your resilience, those things are mine because those are my choices, right? So yeah, I mean, I feel great, but the other compliments that I get are even more precious.
What's that?
Now, fans love you, but do you love someone?
Do I love someone? I love my mom.
No, I mean, I think you know what I mean.
No, I think I've been there, done that. I've broken my heart too many times. I feel that in such a fast-paced world at this moment of time, giving your heart away is very fickle because it's a right swipe, left swipe kind of a world at the moment, right? So it's not the way it used to be, right? When I was growing up, early 2000s, late 90s, right? There was no Instagram. There was all these apps. Nothing was so easily accessible. And you actually value relationships. You value love letters. You value when you go and you write, T loves this or T loves that. You value that things, right? And at this moment of time, it's like, oh, not you, then somebody else. Not somebody else, then somebody else. So it's very fickle. It's very difficult to find the right person that you actually want to give your heart to. And sometimes when you do give your heart, they play soccer with it. So it's like right now, I think God has given me an opportunity to help my family and help my team, help myself to reach heights in life so that I can give back to society. And I think that's my first love. Really just kind of completely married and with my passion at the moment.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the sacrifices over the years, and I have to ask, what do you think is the biggest personal sacrifice you have made to get to where you are now professionally?
The biggest sacrifice, I guess, would have to be not making friends, basically sacrificing your personal life to being where I want to be. Many a times, loneliness can hit you, right? But that's the sacrifice you gotta make because people can be a distraction, right? Everybody has things going on in their life, right? I don't want to complain about my life. I don't want to put it on you, and I don't want you to put it on me, right? So I'm good. So I'd rather just stay away from people. Not that I don't like them. I love them. I go out. I network. I do what I need to do, but I don't open up, right? And I don't expect anybody else to open up to me either. I think it's very I think that's mostly the sacrifice. So because you don't have that, then you don't hang out. Then you don't go for you don't go out to, let's say, Thailand or wherever you want to go with your friends because you're then alone, right? And you finally understand that this journey is alone. Your journey, not only this, your journey in life is alone, right? So you got to make peace with yourself. I think that's the biggest sacrifice because it's not easy to do. It's not easy to just be at home all the time. It's not easy to wake up in the morning for your classes. It's not easy. Who doesn't want to go party? Who doesn't want to go have a good time, good night, right? You know what I mean? But those are the main sacrifices that you need to let go of. If you let go of that, then automatically I think you fall into a well-disciplined life because and I'm a big follower of a lot of these motivational videos that I watch online, and I keep watching it. And one of it said that you have two pains in life, the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. So you got to choose what you want, right? So by the end of it, in the long term, short-term pleasures are great, but the long term, which is going to take you a while, those things that's your legacy.
Love that.
You mentioned earlier there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But comes with that, a lot of people who would, or I would say aspiring actors, who would want to make their way in the industry. So if you can give them one advice, what would it be?
Just one advice just won't make it, to be honest. But one thing is, if you start waking up at 7 o'clock, things just kind of fall into place. You know what I mean? Early mornings, what do we hear? The early bird catches the worm.
Yes.
It's like that. So my mom always says that nothing good happens at night. All right. So you better get some rest. Also, if you sleep well, you stay younger for a longer time. You recover faster. So then you don't go out. That means you don't drink. You don't drink. You don't do. You don't do the stuff that's not good for you. You don't eat fast food. All of the things just kind of fall into place if you wake up early. It's like one kind of a secret. And then of course when you wake up, you just can't sit at home. You got to take the action, of course, but I'm just saying that's one thing that I would recommend is wake up early and start your day. It almost feels like you got 2 days if you wake up at 7. So I swear to God, like sometimes I wake up at like 11. If I ever woke up, I feel like I'm catching up to things, right? But if I wake up at like 6:37, I feel like, this is great. I can do everything that I want and more.
I haven't met your mom, but I think I love her. And I have to say thank you. I feel like that interview was so insightful. And for anyone who's just tuning in, please rewatch it later. It'll be on our YouTube for sure. The star of Netflix show, Heeramandi, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was such an honor. Thank you for having me.
Taha, Shah, thank you, Farah, for being here this morning as well. It brings us to the end of the show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Have a brilliant Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.